Capital One 360, one of the best bank accounts in 2023. Let's talk about why. So I've had my Capital One account for probably about a decade now. I think it was 2012 or 13 when I opened my Capital One 360 account. And honestly, I have very few negative things to say about Capital One in general and the 360 banking. Sometimes Capital One is compared to the Wells Fargo, Chase, B of A's of the world. But the thing is, they have a few physical branches, but it's not the main focus of their business. It's been a digital banking first. They acquired a few banks that have physical locations and they open around 30 cafes. So there are some physical locations for Capital One 360, but it's not the main focus like some of the banks I mentioned a second ago. Their technology is phenomenal in terms of their mobile app, the web app. Also, the customer service is great. Like most digital banks that have customer service over the phone, over chat, things like that, as opposed to having to go into a physical branch. So let's get into a little bit about the checking and savings account and see how it compares to some of the other banks that we've reviewed on this channel. And if you want to learn more about Capital One's 360 accounts or any other banks we talk about in today's video, check out the description below. With the 360 checking account, you'll earn 0.1% interest on any balance you have, which is better than most banks that pay 0%, but it doesn't quite compare to SoFi, what we ranked as the best bank in 2023, where you can earn 2.5% if you have direct deposit set up, or 1.2% without direct deposit. Even the without direct deposit 1.2% is 12 times higher in terms of the interest you would earn on your checking account. So if you want to learn more about SoFi, we have a video I'll link to up above right here. But anyways, let's get back to why I like Capital One. But one thing you can't do with SoFi or a lot of other digital banks is send and receive money with Zelle. With Capital One, you can. You basically connect Zelle using an email or phone number, and then you can easily send or receive payments via Zelle into or out of your Capital One account. To easily take money out of your account, you have access to over 70,000 fee-free ATMs. Also with Capital One, they do have some physical branches, but just concentrated in a few areas such as around New York City, Texas, and Louisiana. Maybe I'm missing some here. Plus the cafes, there's I think around 30 within the US. So the closest one to me in Lansing, Michigan right now is Detroit. I think there's also one in Chicago. So a lot of major cities will have the cafes, but everything can be done online. So no need to be anywhere near one of their branches or cafes to get everything you would want out of this account. One feature that's missing from a lot of online banks is the ability to deposit cash. And with Capital One, it's super easy. Up to 5 times per month, you can go into a CVS and deposit up to $999. So in total, you could deposit $4,995 into your Capital One account with no fees, where a lot of other online banks, for example, Chime, the daily limit is $500. With SoFi, you're going to be charged $4.95 to deposit cash. With Current, you would be charged $3.50. So for you, if it's important to be able to deposit cash into your account and not be charged a fee for it, and want to have an online bank, Capital One, I would say, is the best option that I know of currently. One thing to keep in mind with CVS, it needs to be a freestanding CVS store, not the CVS within Target. Like almost all online banks right now, you get paid up to 2 days early if you have direct deposit set up with Capital One. With Capital One, there's no overdraft fees. You can choose either decline the transaction or pull money out of a savings or money market account. It's not as generous as, say, SoFi, Chime, or Ally Bank, which will allow you to overdraft your account by $50 to $250, also with no fee. Now let's talk about their savings account, which is paying 3.3%, which is in the ballpark of top high yield savings accounts, but not the highest rate. SoFi, for example, is paying 3.75% if you have direct deposit set up. There were some banks paying over 4%. You can learn more about the top high yield savings accounts in this video that I did recently up above. One thing that's important for me, and I basically mentioned in every video related to savings accounts, and that's the ability to save for individual goals separately. And with Capital One, you can set up multiple accounts. You can set up recurring transfers into each one of those accounts. So one could be for your emergency fund, down payment on a home, new car, your wedding, travel, whatever it happens to be. I won't have a savings account where I have to put everything all together. So individual goals for me is really important. Capital One checks that box. Capital One also offers CDs, car loans, and some of my favorite credit cards, including the Venture X and Saver One card. Capital One would be my favorite bank right now if it weren't for the interest rate it pays on its checking and savings account compared to SoFi, which I would say is the best bank in 2023. If you want to learn more about SoFi, check out the video up above. Or if you want to learn about the Capital One Venture X card, check out the video below. Hope to see you in another video. Bye-bye.